Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true.
18 prisoners safe in custody after St. Anne crash police report. The police are reporting that the 18 prisoners who escaped serious injuries in a 3-vehicle crash in St. Anne on Saturday are in safe custody. The 6 police officers who were transporting them also escaped serious injuries. Lawmen say the truck transporting the prisoners reportedly crashed into an Audi motor car, which was traveling in the opposite direction along the Runaway Bay Main Road near the Salem Baptist Church about 9 a.m. The Audi then reportedly hit another vehicle. Reporters understand that the prisoners were being transported from the St. James Police Division and are now in Kingston. St. Anne father shot dead while 3-year-old daughter nursing gunshot wounds. A man was shot and killed and his 3-year-old daughter was shot and wounded by unknown assailants in their community in St. Anne over the weekend. Dead is 40-year-old Orlando Atkinson, otherwise called Junior, a contractor of Lilyfield District in Bamboo. Reports from the St. Anne's Bay Police are that about 8:15 p.m. on Saturday, Atkinson and his daughter were in his vehicle when armed men approached and opened gunfire at them. The police were summoned and on arrival, Atkinson was seen with gunshot wounds to the upper body and his daughter wounded. They were transported to hospital where Atkinson was pronounced dead and his daughter was treated and released. Business operators in Kingston Central urged to revisit security measures following robbery at KFC. Business operators in Kingston Central are being urged to revisit their security measures to ensure the safer movement and security of cash. The appeal follows a robbery at the KFC restaurant on King Street in downtown Kingston. Police reported that about 11 a.m., gunmen entered the establishment and stole over $100,000 in cash from the food store. Staff and customers were also robbed of cell phones and other personal belongings. Speaking with reporters, Commanding Officer for the Division Superintendent Beresford Williams said in light of the robbery, businesses must take proper steps to secure their establishments. This, he said, is especially important as thieves seek to increase their criminal activity during the festive season. Superintendent Williams also urged citizens to come forward if they can assist the police in identifying the KFC robbers. He lamented that in several instances, robbers are taken into custody but are eventually released due to citizens' refusal to confirm their identities. The superintendent hopes that this problem will not persist and that Jamaicans will be more forthcoming in helping to put perpetrators behind bars.
We are constantly trying to build dialogue with the business community, encouraging them that where they are in possession of large sum of cash, where their business is surrounded around large cash, that they need to visit their or relook at their security arrangement, whatever those are, whether during business hours or during the movement of cash from their businesses to the bank, so that we can secure persons involved or one on premises as best as possible. So we continue to encourage persons to relook at their security arrangement and to make adjustments where they think it's necessary. We are hoping the perpetrators are listening and will come forward. Importantly, though, we're encouraging persons to get involved in the process so that we can bring to justice those who are involved. We note that in the past, where we have identified suspects, persons have failed to support the process, and so in many instances, those perpetrators have had to be released. This we know will kind of embolden them, and so we continue to ask our citizens where they know of suspects to assist us so we can bring these persons to justice. In this case, the appeal is no different.
Elderly woman perishes in Majestic Garden fire. An elderly woman lost her life after a fire destroyed the top floor of an apartment building in Majestic Garden in Kingston on Monday morning. The woman has so far only been identified as Miss Pat. It is believed that the elderly woman, who lives alone, was cooking when the neighbors saw smoke coming from her apartment. Despite the neighbors quickly rushing to the woman's aid, they were unable to rescue her due to the fierceness of the flames, one witness stated. After firefighters extinguished the blaze, the woman's burnt remains were found among the debris. Opposition concerned about number of murders committed in St. James despite implementation of SOE. There is heightened concern over the number of murders being committed in St. James despite the declaration of a state of public emergency in St. James. There have been enhanced security measures in St. James since November 23rd. The parish is among 6 areas where the measures were reinstated on Friday. On Saturday, a day after the security measure was reintroduced, 2 maids were killed in Green Pond. On Sunday, another man was reportedly shot and killed on Orange Street in downtown Montego Bay, while that same afternoon, gunmen shot and killed a man in Irwin. By the same evening, gunmen struck near Cambridge. Opposition Speaker on National Security Peter Bunting says the surge in violent crimes in the parish is indicative that the routine use of SOEs is ineffective. According to Mr. Bunting, the security measure is a public relations stunt. He is calling for effective crime prevention measures to be implemented.
You're aware that the opposition has the government before the court now challenging the serial and routine use of states of emergency. So in addition to the fact that these are unconstitutional, I think we increasingly see and the public increasingly realizes that they're ineffective. With all those states of emergency last week, we had 38 murders, and this was just up to Saturday night, 6 in St. James alone. Now, when you add the 3 more murders in St. James on the Sunday, you will see that the state of emergency is really having no impact there. The general concern is that we stop pretending that these declarations of state of emergency are anything but public relations ploys to make the citizens believe that something is being done. Recently, we've had a number of statements from the Chief Justice, the Bar Association, etc., that have exposed the government. All these, raising the minimum sentencing levels, taking away discretion from judges, etc., are having no impact in Jamaica, nor have they worked anywhere else. They're just to create impression in people's minds that something is being done. But the reality is we need to build up our capabilities in terms of investigation, in terms of intelligence collection, in terms of putting sound cases together so that we get a higher rate of conviction than the 20 to 30% that we're getting now. And the Chief Justice has pointed out these things, and we need to listen.
Principals must comply with provisions of Data Protection Act, stated Williams. The Ministry of Education and Youth has engaged school principals to ensure that they are in compliance with provisions under the new Data Protection Act. On December 1, the Act came into effect. It provides greater safeguards for the handling of personal information of Jamaicans held in physical or electronic form. This legislation was passed in 2020 and is set to transform the way organizations manage personal data, including the collection, storage, utilization, disclosure, and disposal. We are working up to speed with it because of our schools or our new data control, as education system collects mountains of data on every student, every parent and teachers, said Minister of Education and Youth Favour Williams. She was delivering the keynote address at the handover of a smart room at the Homestead Primary and Infant School in St. Catherine recently. Under the new law, organizations or individuals defined as data controllers are required to register with the Office of the Information Commissioner, OIC, and pay an annual fee. The OIC is responsible for monitoring compliance with the Act and attendant regulations, as well as advising the government on matters relating to data protection, dissemination of information to the public in relation to the operation of the Act, and preparing and distributing guidelines that promote good practices to be adhered to by data collectors. Williams said that greater emphasis is being placed on what the law covers, how the data is secured, and who has access to it and who it is passed on to. We have to ensure that we have systems in place to help us to manage the data that we collect, because there are heavy fines if it is found that there are data breaches, she added. Meanwhile, the minister called on school administrators to enhance their teaching with the use of technology and in the administration of the schools, so that you can focus more on where it matters most, in the classrooms, helping our students.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell.